Hey y'all, so I just wanted to go over the professional skills through all these videos that we had to watch. So first, I kind of want to start off the question of, is this what I expected from a counseling session? And I think this pretty much is. I've also been in counseling myself, so I kind of knew, but just looking at this, it really, showed that like the client came in and they just talked about everything that's going on, and the counselor was very much just listening and asking questions and digging a little bit deeper. So it was very similar to what I expected. So referring to chapter 8 in our textbook on page 272 on the table, that 8.5, it talks about all of the skills, which I really enjoyed reading and trying to understand kind of the basic skills into counseling. One that kind of spoke out to me that I saw, especially during the homesick video, was the counselor was using a lot of attentive silence. I think, that's kind of one of my questions at the end, just of how long is just too long to sort of wait? Because, there's a lot of just like, okay. But as I was reading on page 273, attentive silence is not ignoring, but just accepting what the other person is saying with full attention. So the textbook pretty much kind of answered the question itself. So that was something that I saw throughout chapter 8. And then also just on page 273, number 4, trying to imagine what you would be feeling if this happened. And that includes empathy, and all of these counselors showed a lot of empathy. And kind of just going into comparing each session, I think the first one, the client came in and he had a lot to say, and he was kind of trying to form his thoughts and try to think about what, kind of is going on in his mind. And the counselor did a great job of showing empathy, but also just recapping what the client said, and kind of going over questions and like reflecting on how the client is feeling, as well as paraphrasing, which are some other skills that are part of the professional counseling. The next is homesick. This is the one that I really like dug in deep to, because the counselor, she just showed a lot of like, her face was, not emotions, but you could tell she was really listening and, kind of using the reflection of feeling, identifying, the client's emotions and reflecting on what the client is saying. So just kind of, again, rephrasing what they're saying, and kind of explaining it more. And then the last one, just the counselor did a great job of comparing what she is going through and asking a lot of questions, saying like, okay, do you like dancing more, or do you want to go to counseling, and why? Let's break it down. And so I felt like he did a good job at looking at her feelings. And so yeah, those are kind of the differences that I saw. I think the only questions that I really have about a counseling session is just kind of like, I think I do get nervous, like, what if I do cry? What if this is really deep and you don't have the answer? Is it necessary just to keep asking questions and kind of just like getting the client to talk about more while you as a counselor are listening, but also forming thoughts about what you can say to the client? That's, I think, my big takeaway and my big question. Thanks.